Every single one of us has faced a moment where quitting felt like the easiest choice. Maybe it was a dream that seemed too far away, a challenge that felt too heavy to carry, or a goal that demanded more than you thought you had to give. In those moments, the temptation to walk away whispers louder than the voice that tells you to keep going. And here's the truth. Quitting is always the easiest path, but it's also the one that leaves the deepest scars of regret. The people who achieve greatness aren't the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who refuse to surrender when the road gets rough. They've learned a secret that persistence, not talent, not luck, is what turns ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. This message isn't about hype or empty promises. It's about facing reality head on and taking personal responsibility for where you're headed. No one is coming to rescue you. No perfect moment will suddenly appear. The power to keep going, no matter what happens, has to come from within you. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I reveal the mindset and strategies that will help you stand strong when everything in you wants to quit. Let's dive in. Number 1, make a no-exit decision. If you want to truly master the art of never quitting, it all begins with one powerful choice, a no-exit decision. Most people fail, not because they don't have what it takes, but because they keep the back door unlocked. They leave themselves a way out, a hidden escape route that says, if this gets too hard, I'll just quit. And the moment things get tough, and they always do, they run straight for that exit. Think about it like this. Imagine a ship setting sail toward an uncharted island. If the crew knows they can turn back at any time, they'll retreat the second a storm appears. But if the captain burns the ships once they arrive, there's no going back. There's only forward. That's the level of commitment you need for your dreams. A no-exit decision is when you tell yourself, I am in this for the long haul, no matter how hard it gets. It's not based on how you feel today or how excited you are right now. Feelings come and go. Motivation rises and falls, but a true decision stays firm, even on the days when you're tired, discouraged, or scared. Here's the hard truth. As long as you leave yourself a safety net, quitting will always be an option. You'll keep one foot in and one foot out, and that split focus will slowly destroy your progress. It's like trying to win a race while constantly looking for the nearest exit. You won't give your full energy, and eventually, you'll talk yourself into giving up. When you make a no-exit decision, something incredible happens. You stop wasting time debating whether to keep going. You stop negotiating with yourself every time things get hard. Your only focus becomes finding a way to move forward, no matter how many obstacles appear. This doesn't mean you ignore reality or pretend the road will be smooth. It simply means that quitting is off the table. When that option is removed, your mind gets sharper, your creativity kicks in, and you start finding solutions you never would have seen before. Maybe you've been chasing a dream half-heartedly, telling yourself, I'll give this a shot, and if it doesn't work, I'll just walk away. That kind of thinking guarantees failure before you even start. Stop testing the water with your toes. Jump all the way in. Decide today that you're going to keep moving forward, no matter how many storms come your way. This is the foundation for everything else. Without this level of commitment, every strategy, every piece of advice, and every lesson will crumble the moment things get tough. So burn the ships in your mind, close the back door, tear up the escape plan. From this moment forward, it's forward only. No retreat, no surrender. This is how you begin the journey of never quitting. Number 2, stop waiting for the perfect conditions. One of the biggest reasons people quit before they even truly begin is because they spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment. They tell themselves, I'll start when things calm down, or I'll go after my dream when I have more time, more money, or more support. And so day after day, month after month, year after year, they wait. Here's the harsh reality. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Life will always be messy. There will always be bills to pay, problems to solve, and unexpected challenges that come out of nowhere. If you keep waiting for everything to line up just right, you'll spend your entire life stuck at the starting line, watching other people pass you by. Success is not about perfect timing. It's about imperfect action. The people who win in life aren't necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the most prepared. They are simply the ones who start, even when things are messy and uncertain. They take the first step before they feel ready. Think about a seed planted in the dirt. It doesn't wait for perfect weather to sprout. It pushes through the soil, through the dark and the cold, until it reaches the light. Your dream works the same way. You don't need everything to be perfect to grow. You just need to push forward. Here's why waiting for perfect conditions is so dangerous. It creates an illusion of safety. It tricks you into thinking that someday, when life is less complicated, it will finally feel easy to take action. But the truth is, life will never stop being complicated. There will never be a time when you have no problems, no stress, no fears. If you can't take action now, you won't take action later either. Think back to any major achievement in your life. Chances are you weren't fully ready when you started. You learned as you went, you figured things out along the way. That's how progress really works. Waiting for perfection is just another form of fear. It's procrastination disguised as preparation. When you start taking action, even small action, momentum begins to build. And momentum is what separates those who keep going from those who quit. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, the second step becomes easier. The third step even easier. Before you know it, you've built a rhythm that carries you through the challenges. Stop telling yourself you need the perfect plan before you can move forward. You don't need to see the whole road to take the first step. All you need is a clear direction and the courage to begin, right now with what you have. Remember this, the conditions will never be perfect, but they don't need to be. Progress is messy. Growth is uncomfortable. But action, even imperfect action, is what will move you closer to your dream. Don't wait another day. Don't wait another hour. Start now and let the rest fall into place as you go. Number 3. Build a vision that pulls you forward. One of the main reasons people quit when things get tough is simple. They don't have a clear vision of what they're fighting for. When the road gets rocky and the obstacles pile up, they lose sight of why they started in the first place. And without a strong why, quitting feels easier than pushing forward. You see, when you have a crystal clear vision of what you want, it acts like a magnet. It pulls you forward even when your energy is low and your motivation is gone. Without that vision, you're like a ship lost at sea, drifting wherever the wind blows. And when the storms come, and they will, you'll be tossed around until you eventually give up. So what exactly is a vision? It's not just a goal written on a piece of paper. It's a picture in your mind of the life you want to create. It's specific, it's personal, and it's deeply meaningful to you. A vision makes the sacrifices worth it, because you can see what's waiting for you on the other side of the struggle. Most people never take the time to really define what they want. They chase vague ideas like success or happiness, but they can't tell you what that actually looks like for them. And here's the problem with that. If you don't know where you're going, every challenge will feel like a reason to stop. Clarity creates strength. Building a vision starts with asking yourself some hard questions. What do I really want my life to look like 5 years from now? Who do I want to become? What kind of impact do I want to make? Don't just think about money or achievements. Think about the person you want to be when you wake up every morning. Once you have that picture in your mind, make it so vivid you can almost touch it. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Imagine it in detail every single day. The clearer your vision, the stronger your pull to keep going will be. Here's the powerful thing about having a vision. When the pain comes, when the setbacks hit, when you're tempted to quit, that vision will remind you why you can't stop now. It becomes your anchor. You'll stop seeing obstacles as walls and start seeing them as steps that are taking you closer to your dream. Your vision has to be bigger than your excuses. It has to mean so much to you that no amount of temporary discomfort can make you walk away. When you build that kind of vision, you won't have to constantly push yourself to keep going. The vision itself will pull you forward. So take the time to create a vision so clear and so powerful that quitting simply isn't an option anymore. When you can see where you're going, you'll find the strength to keep moving, no matter how rough the journey gets. Number 4, turn pain into fuel, not excuses. Pain is a part of life. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or how strong you think you are. At some point, you will face pain. It might be physical pain, emotional pain, financial pain, or the pain of rejection and failure. Most people see pain as a signal to stop, as if it's life's way of saying, this is too hard. Turn back. And so they quit. But here's the truth. Pain is not a stop sign. It's a teacher. It's energy. It's raw power that can either break you or build you. And the choice is always yours. Some people let pain become their excuse. They say, I can't keep going because it hurts too much. And they use it to justify quitting. Others look at that same pain and say, this is fuel. This is proof that I'm growing. This is the fire that will drive me to the next level. The difference between the two is perspective. Think about working out at the gym. The first few reps are easy, but the last few, the ones that burn, are the ones that actually cause your muscles to grow. Life works the same way. The moments that hurt the most are the moments shaping you into the person you need to become. When you run from pain, you run from growth. When you embrace it, you turn it into a powerful force that propels you forward. Every time you feel that sting of struggle, remind yourself, this is not punishment, this is progress. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history were born out of pain. People who changed the world didn't do it because life was easy for them. They did it because they faced incredible challenges and chose to keep moving anyway. They didn't allow their suffering to become an anchor that dragged them down. They turned it into fuel that pushed them to rise higher. Here's something to remember. Pain is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. If you quit because of discomfort, that pain will linger as regret for the rest of your life. But if you push through, the pain eventually fades and is replaced by strength, wisdom, and victory. The next time life knocks you down, don't ask, why me? Instead ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this? That simple shift will change everything. Suddenly, pain stops being a reason to stop and becomes a reason to fight harder. Your journey will not always feel good. In fact, there will be days when it feels unbearable. But that's when you must dig the deepest. That's when you must remind yourself that pain is proof you're in the game. Proof you're still alive. Proof you're still growing. Use it. Channel it. Let it light a fire inside you so strong that quitting is no longer even an option. Pain can either be the thing that destroys you or the very thing that transforms you into someone unstoppable. The choice is yours. Number 5. Burn the backup plan. One of the biggest traps that causes people to quit is having a backup plan. On the surface, it seems smart, a safety net, just in case things don't work out. But here's the problem, that just in case becomes the very reason you never give your all. When things get difficult, when the challenges feel overwhelming, your mind will whisper, why keep fighting? You can always fall back on plan B. And that's when most people quit. Not because they didn't have the ability to succeed, but because they gave themselves permission to stop trying. Think about it like this. Imagine a warrior going into battle. If he knows there's a bridge behind him that will allow him to escape, he fights with hesitation. But if that bridge is burned, if retreat is no longer an option, he fights with everything he has. There's no turning back. Victory becomes the only path forward. The same principle applies to your dreams. If you always have one foot in and one foot out, you'll never reach your full potential. You'll keep holding back, playing it safe, protecting yourself from failure instead of going all in. But greatness doesn't come from safety. It comes from total commitment. Burning the backup plan doesn't mean you throw away wisdom or stop being responsible. It means you make a firm decision in your heart that you are going to do whatever it takes to make your dream work. It means you stop giving yourself easy exits when things get uncomfortable. When you truly eliminate plan B, something amazing happens. Your creativity explodes. You start finding solutions you never would have seen before because you're no longer distracted by the thought of escape. Your energy becomes focused like a laser. Instead of asking, should I keep going? Your only question becomes, how can I make this work? Many people fail simply because they keep giving themselves too many options. They dip their toes in the water instead of diving in. They try instead of committing. But here's the truth. Trying is just a fancy way of saying you're giving yourself permission to quit. When you commit fully, when you say, this is it, I will find a way, you awaken a level of strength you didn't even know you had. Yes, it's scary to burn the backup plan. It feels risky. It feels uncomfortable. But comfort has never produced greatness. Comfort is the birthplace of mediocrity. So today, ask yourself, what's my escape plan? What safety net am I clinging to that's holding me back from going all in? Then make the bold decision to cut it off. Tear up the plan that makes quitting easier, because the moment you remove the option to retreat, your only direction is forward. And when forward is the only way, you'll be amazed at how strong, resourceful, and unstoppable you become. Burn the backup plan and watch yourself rise. Number 6. Create habits that outlast motivation. Motivation is powerful, but it's also unreliable. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world. Other days you don't even want to get out of bed. If you depend on motivation alone, you'll always be at the mercy of your feelings. And feelings are fickle. That's why so many people quit. They start strong, full of excitement. But the moment that excitement fades, so does their effort. Here's the truth. Success doesn't belong to the most motivated. It belongs to the most disciplined. The key to never quitting is to build habits so strong that you keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. Habits are the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up every morning thinking, "I'm so inspired to brush my teeth today." You just do it. It's automatic. Imagine if you built the same kind of automatic routine for your goals. Habits so ingrained that skipping them feels unnatural. That's what will carry you through the tough times, when motivation disappears. The mistake most people make is relying on bursts of effort. They go all in for a week, then burn out and quit. Real progress comes from small, consistent actions repeated day after day. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's unstoppable. A single push-up won't change your body, just like one act of discipline won't change your life. But 1,000 push-ups over time will transform you. 1,000 disciplined choices will rewrite your future. Start small. Pick one habit that moves you closer to your dream and commit to it every day. It could be writing for 30 minutes, saving a small amount of money, reading 10 pages of a book, or waking up an hour earlier. Don't focus on doing everything at once. Focus on consistency. Consistency beats intensity when it comes to building lasting change. Here's another thing. Your environment matters. Make it easier to do the right thing and harder to do the wrong thing. If you want to eat healthy, keep junk food out of the house. If you want to wake up early, put your alarm clock across the room, so you have to get out of bed to turn it off. Don't just rely on willpower. Design your surroundings to support your habits. When you build strong habits, you free yourself from the roller coaster of motivation. You no longer need to ask, "Do I feel like it today?" The answer doesn't matter. You just show up and do the work. Over time, those habits compound, and the results become undeniable. The truth is, motivation may start the journey, but habits finish it. The people who never quit aren't always the most passionate or the most gifted. They're the ones who built a system that keeps them moving, no matter how they feel. Build habits that outlast motivation, and you'll keep going long after everyone else has given up. Number 7. Surround yourself with fighters, not quitters. No matter how strong you are, the people around you will either lift you higher or pull you down. Your environment has a powerful influence on whether you keep going or give up. You can have big dreams, strong goals, and all the determination in the world. But if you're surrounded by quitters, that negativity will eventually rub off on you. Think about it. When you're around people who complain, make excuses, and give up at the first sign of difficulty, you start to believe that behavior is normal. Their doubts become your doubts. Their fears become your fears. And before you even realize it, you're lowering your own standards just to fit in. But when you're surrounded by fighters, people who push through challenges, who keep showing up no matter how hard it gets, their strength becomes contagious. Their resilience fuels your resilience. Their courage gives you courage. Being in the right circle makes the difference between quitting and becoming unstoppable. This is why you must be intentional about who you let into your inner circle. You don't need to cut everyone out of your life, but you do need to limit the voices that feed your fears. Stop spending your time with those who drag you down or secretly hope you fail. Instead, find people who believe in growth, who live with grit, and who refuse to let you settle for less than your potential. Sometimes this means making hard choices. It might mean distancing yourself from old friends who keep you stuck. It might mean having uncomfortable conversations with family members who don't understand your vision. It might even mean standing alone for a while until you find the right people. But remember this, being alone and focused is better than being surrounded by negative energy that destroys your drive. Here's something powerful to consider. You don't always have to personally know the people who inspire you. You can surround yourself with fighters through the books you read, the videos you watch, and the voices you listen to every day. If you don't have strong people around you right now, seek them out in other ways. Learn from the stories of those who refuse to quit and let their examples strengthen your mindset. Also, be the fighter in someone else's circle. When you become that person who keeps pushing forward, you inspire others to do the same. Strength spreads. Courage spreads. Just like negativity is contagious, so is perseverance. The truth is, no one achieves greatness alone. Even the most determined people need encouragement, accountability, and support. Surround yourself with those who push you to grow, who challenge you to stay the course, and who remind you why you started when the road gets tough. If you want to be someone who never quits, don't just rely on your own willpower. Build a circle of fighters who will stand with you in the storm. Together, you'll rise higher than you ever could alone. Number 8, win one small battle at a time. One of the biggest reasons people quit isn't because they're weak or because they don't have what it takes. It's because they get overwhelmed by how far they still have to go. They look at the mountain in front of them and think, there's no way I can climb that. That feeling of being buried under the weight of everything that needs to be done is enough to make anyone want to give up. But here's the truth. You don't need to climb the whole mountain today. You don't need to win the entire war right now. All you need to do is win one small battle at a time. Imagine trying to run a marathon. If you think about all 26 miles at once, it feels impossible. But if you focus on just making it to the next street, the next corner, the next step, suddenly it becomes manageable. That's how life works. The journey to your dream is a series of small, winnable steps stacked on top of each other. Too many people quit because they aim for perfection instead of progress. They want massive results overnight. And when that doesn't happen, they get discouraged. They forget that every big victory is built from countless small victories. The most successful people in the world didn't leap to the top. They climbed there, one step, one decision, one small win at a time. Breaking your goals into smaller pieces does two powerful things. First, it builds momentum. Every time you accomplish a small task, you create a sense of progress. That progress fuels your confidence and gives you the energy to keep going. Second, it makes the challenge less intimidating. Instead of facing a giant, overwhelming goal, you're facing something you can handle right now. Let's say you want to get in shape. Don't start by thinking about losing 50 pounds. Start by committing to a 10-minute walk today. Tomorrow, maybe it's a 15-minute workout. Small wins compound. They create a ripple effect that transforms your life over time. The same goes for building a business, learning a new skill, or chasing any dream. Stop obsessing over the finish line. Focus on what you can control today, the actions you can take right now. When you narrow your focus, you take away the feeling of being overwhelmed. Here's the key. Celebrate those small wins. Give yourself credit for showing up, for staying consistent, for taking even the tiniest step forward. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Remember, you don't need to have all the answers today. You don't need to see the entire path ahead. Just keep winning the battle right in front of you. And as you stack those victories, you'll look back one day and realize you've conquered the mountain you once thought was impossible to climb. Win today's battle, then win tomorrow's. That's how you build an unbreakable spirit and a life where quitting simply isn't an option. Number 9, silence the negative voice in your head. Every single one of us has a voice inside our head. Sometimes it encourages us, pushes us, and reminds us of what we're capable of. But more often than not, that voice is negative. It whispers doubts, magnifies fears, and plants seeds of failure before we've even begun. It says things like, "You're not good enough. You're wasting your time. You'll never make it." If you listen to that voice long enough, you'll start to believe it. And once you believe it, quitting becomes the easiest option. The truth is, most people don't quit because the world tells them to stop. They quit because their own mind convinces them to stop. You can have all the talent in the world, the best plan, the right resources, and still fail if you let your inner critic run the show. That's why learning to silence that voice is one of the most important skills you'll ever develop. Here's the thing. You will never completely get rid of that negative voice. It's part of being human, but you can control how much power you give it. The first step is to recognize when it's speaking. Pay attention to your thoughts. Notice when your inner dialogue shifts from constructive to destructive. Awareness is the doorway to change. Once you catch that voice in action, don't fight it with more negativity. You don't need to argue with it or prove it wrong. Instead, calmly replace it with a stronger, more empowering truth. For example, when the voice says, "You'll never succeed," respond with, "I may not be there yet, but I'm getting closer every single day." When it says, "You're not good enough," remind yourself, "I have everything I need to take the next step." Words matter. The things you repeatedly say to yourself will eventually shape your beliefs, and your beliefs will shape your actions. That's why you must speak to yourself like you would to someone you deeply care about. You wouldn't tell your best friend to give up, so why say it to yourself? Another powerful strategy is to take action, even when that voice tells you not to. Action drowns out fear. When you move forward, No matter how small the step, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. Over time, your confidence grows and that negative voice gets quieter. Be careful about who you surround yourself with as well. Negative voices from the outside can amplify the one inside. Spend time with people who lift you up, who challenge you to grow, and who speak life into your dreams. Remember this, the loudest voice in your life should never be the one telling you to quit. You have the power to rewrite the script in your head. When you silence the lies and focus on truth, you create mental armor that no challenge can penetrate. Master your inner dialogue, and you master your destiny. Quiet the negative voice, and you'll discover a strength inside you that refuses to quit, no matter what happens. Number 10. Focus on the work, not quick results. One of the biggest traps that leads people to quit is the obsession with immediate results. We live in a world that glorifies speed, instant downloads, same-day delivery, quick fixes. People expect the same when it comes to their dreams. They start a new journey and think, if I don't see progress right away, it must not be working. But that mindset destroys perseverance. When you measure your success only by fast results, every setback feels like failure. And when progress comes slowly, as it almost always does, frustration takes over. That's when most people give up. Not because they couldn't succeed, but because they couldn't wait. The truth is, meaningful success takes time. Growth is like planting a seed. You don't put a seed in the soil today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it, you nurture it, you protect it from storms. For weeks or even months, you may not see anything happening on the surface, but beneath the soil, roots are forming, preparing to sustain the tree for years to come. Your dream works the same way. In the early stages, your effort may not seem to be paying off. You may feel like you're working tirelessly and getting nothing in return. But that doesn't mean you're failing. It means your roots are growing. Progress you can't see is still progress. When you focus on quick results, you start cutting corners. You rush. You force things. And that desperation almost always leads to burnout or poor decisions. But when you focus on the work itself, on showing up and doing your best every single day, you create something far more powerful. Consistency. Consistency is what separates those who keep going from those who quit. It's not about being perfect. It's about staying committed to the process. When you fall in love with the work, you stop obsessing over when the results will come. You trust that they will come in their own time. Think about the greatest athletes, artists, and leaders. They didn't reach the top by chasing instant gratification. They built their skills through years of practice, showing up day after day, even when no one was watching, even when there was no applause, even when it felt like nothing was happening. Here's a simple truth. If you focus only on the finish line, you'll get exhausted and quit halfway there. But if you focus on taking one strong step after another, the finish line will take care of itself. So stop asking, how fast can I get there? And start asking, how well can I show up today? Give your energy to the work, not the clock. Trust the process, even when it feels slow. Because slow progress is still progress. And the one who keeps showing up, who keeps working long after the excitement fades, will eventually achieve what the quitter never will. Focus on the work. The results will follow. Number 11. Treat failure as a teacher, not a signal to stop. Failure. It's a word that makes most people flinch. We've been taught to fear it since childhood. We're told that failure means we're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. So what do most people do? They run from it. They avoid taking risks. And if they fail even once, they take it as a sign that they should quit altogether. But here's the truth. You need to understand. Failure is not the end. Failure is a teacher. It's life's way of showing you what doesn't work so you can discover what does work. Every time you fail, you gain valuable information. Information that no book, no mentor, and no amount of preparation could ever give you. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall over and over again, but they don't sit there and think, I guess walking isn't for me. No. They get back up and try again, and each fall teaches them how to balance a little better. That's how they eventually succeed. Somewhere along the way, as adults, we forget this simple truth. We start seeing failure as proof that we're not cut out for something, when in reality it's just part of the process. The difference between those who quit and those who win isn't that one group never fails. It's that the winners keep failing forward. They take the lesson, adjust, and keep moving. The quitters, on the other hand, see failure as a dead end. Some of the most successful people in history faced incredible failures before they achieved greatness. They didn't reach the top because they avoided mistakes. They reached the top because they learned from them. What separates a failure from a final defeat is how you respond to it. Here's the mindset shift you need to make. Stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" And start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" The moment you do that, you take back your power. Failure stops being a wall and becomes a stepping stone. Yes, failure hurts. It stings your pride. It tests your patience. But pain is temporary, and the lessons you gain are permanent. If you quit the moment you fail, you rob yourself of those lessons. You stay stuck in the same place, repeating the same mistakes, and living with regret. Every time you face failure, remind yourself that you are being refined, not rejected. You are being shaped into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. The truth is, failure is not your enemy. Quitting is. As long as you're still learning, you're still moving forward. Treat every failure as a teacher that's preparing you for the victory ahead. Don't fear failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it sharpen you. Because the only real failure in life is walking away before the lesson is learned and the dream is achieved. Number 12, reignite your why. When the fire fades, no matter how strong and determined you are, there will come a day when you feel drained. The excitement you once had will fade. The fire that pushed you forward will flicker, and you'll find yourself asking, "Why am I even doing this?" This is the critical moment where many people quit. It's not because they lack talent or strength. It's because they've lost touch with their why. Your why is the reason you started in the first place. It's the vision that lit a spark in you, the dream that made you believe the fight was worth it. Without it, the journey becomes a grind, and quitting begins to feel like the only relief. When your fire fades, you must go back to the source. Revisit the moment you first decided to take this path. What did you want for your life? What pain were you determined to escape? Who were you fighting for? Yourself, your family, your future. Your why has to be bigger than your obstacles. If your reason is weak, every challenge will seem like a mountain. But when your reason is strong, no mountain can stop you. That's why you must constantly remind yourself of it. Here's a powerful practice. Write your why down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. On your mirror, in your wallet, or as a note on your phone. When you wake up tired, when you feel like giving up, read it out loud. Let those words reignite the passion inside you. Sometimes your why evolves. The reason you started may not be the same reason you continue. That's okay. Life changes, and so do you. The key is to stay connected to a purpose that truly matters to you now. A living, breathing dream that keeps you moving forward. When you feel like quitting, remember this. Progress is invisible before it's undeniable. Most people quit right before a breakthrough because they forget why they began. Your why acts like a lighthouse in the storm, guiding you through the darkest nights and roughest seas. Don't underestimate the power of reflection. Take time regularly to sit in silence and think about your journey. Remember the sacrifices you've already made, the battles you've already fought, and the progress you've already achieved. You've come too far to throw it all away. Your why is like oxygen for your spirit. Without it, you suffocate under stress, fear, and doubt. With it, you breathe life back into your dreams and gain the strength to take one more step, and then another, and another. When your motivation fades, and it will, don't see it as a sign to quit. See it as a reminder to return to your roots. Reignite your why, and you'll discover a fire that burns brighter and stronger than before. That fire will carry you through the moments when everything in you wants to stop. Number 13. Push through when progress feels invisible. One of the most discouraging parts of any journey is when you're working hard, giving your all, and yet nothing seems to be changing. You show up day after day, but the results are so small, they're almost invisible. That's when the temptation to quit hits the hardest. You start thinking, what's the point? Maybe this isn't meant for me. But here's what you must understand. Real progress often happens beneath the surface, long before you can see it. Just because you don't see immediate evidence doesn't mean your effort is wasted. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. For weeks, you water it, you tend to it, but there's no sign of life above the soil. Most people would give up, thinking nothing's happening. But under the surface, roots are growing, preparing to burst through in due time. Your dreams work the same way. Those long hours of work, those sacrifices no one sees, those late nights when you're grinding in silence. They're all building something beneath the surface. The results may not show yet, but they're coming. The key is to keep going long enough to see the breakthrough. Most people quit right before the tipping point. They give up after months or years of effort, never realizing how close they were to success. It's like a miner digging for gold. He works tirelessly, digging through rock and dirt, but stops 1 foot away from the treasure. Someone else comes along, digs a little deeper, and strikes gold. The difference wasn't talent or luck, it was persistence. During the invisible phase of progress, your mind will play tricks on you. Doubt will creep in. You'll look at others who seem to be moving faster and wonder why your path feels so slow. This is when you must remember comparison is poison. Their journey isn't yours. Stay focused on your lane and trust the process. The invisible season is where character is built. Anyone can keep going when the results are obvious. But pushing forward when it feels like nothing is working, that's where you develop resilience, grit, and strength. This is the testing ground that separates the committed from the casual. Here's what you can do. Shift your focus from results to actions. Instead of obsessing over how far you have left to go, focus on what you can do today. The steps you can take right now. Track your consistency, not just your outcomes. When you focus on the actions, you'll stay motivated even when the results are delayed. Remember, progress is often slow, then sudden. One day, it will feel like nothing is happening. The next, everything will click, and the world will see what you've been building all along. So when progress feels invisible, don't stop, don't turn back. Keep showing up, keep planting seeds, keep doing the work, because the day you feel like quitting might be the day before your breakthrough. Number 14, choose growth over comfort every single time. Every day you are faced with a simple choice, comfort or growth. Comfort feels good in the moment. It's easy, safe, and familiar. It asks nothing of you and demands no risk. Growth, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. It stretches you, challenges you, and forces you to face fear, pain, and uncertainty. And this is why so many people choose comfort and why so many never reach their full potential. Comfort whispers, take it easy. You've done enough. Stay here where it's safe. It lulls you into thinking that today's peace is worth tomorrow's regret. But here's the truth. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you shrink a little. You weaken your resolve. You build the habit of quitting without even realizing it. Growth isn't glamorous. It often feels like struggle, like failure, like you're being pushed to your limits. But that's where transformation happens. Just like a muscle only grows when it's put under pressure, you grow when you step into the uncomfortable. Think about the moments in your life when you truly became stronger. Chances are, they weren't easy moments. They were the times when you took a risk, faced a challenge, or endured hardship, and came out the other side changed. Those moments didn't come from staying in your comfort zone. They came from walking straight into discomfort and refusing to turn back. Choosing growth is never a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment. It's saying, I'm willing to feel the discomfort today so I can have the life I want tomorrow. That might mean having a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. It might mean waking up earlier to work on your dream while others are sleeping. It might mean failing in public while others are playing it safe in the shadows. The problem is, comfort has a cost that isn't obvious at first. You don't see it right away, but over time, comfort robs you of opportunities, progress, and self-respect. The more you choose the easy path, the harder it becomes to break free. Eventually, you wake up one day and realize you've been living the same year over and over again and calling it a life. Growth also has a cost. It demands sacrifice, discipline, and perseverance. But unlike comfort, the cost of growth pays you back. It gives you strength, confidence, and a future you can be proud of. When you face a hard decision, ask yourself this simple question: which choice will help me grow? Then take that path, even if it scares you. Especially if it scares you. Fear is usually a sign you're moving towards something meaningful. In the end, greatness doesn't come from easy choices. It comes from the willingness to endure discomfort again and again, knowing that the pain of growth is temporary but the reward lasts forever. Choose growth over comfort every single time, and you'll build a life where quitting never feels like an option. Quitting will always feel like the easier choice. It offers immediate relief. It whispers promises of safety, rest, and escape. But while quitting might silence today's struggle, it creates tomorrow's regret. And regret is far heavier than any challenge you will ever face. Throughout this journey, we've explored the mindset, habits, and choices that separate those who quit from those who rise. It begins with a no-exit decision, a firm commitment that you will keep moving forward no matter how hard it gets. It's about refusing to wait for perfect conditions and instead taking imperfect action every single day. It's about building a vision so powerful that it pulls you forward when your strength fades and turning pain into fuel instead of excuses. We talked about the importance of burning the backup plan because when quitting is no longer an option, your only direction is forward. We explored how habits outlast motivation, how your circle of influence shapes your grit, and how breaking your dream into small winnable battles keeps you from being overwhelmed. And most importantly, we learned that failure isn't a sign to stop. It's a teacher guiding you toward the path of growth. There will be days when progress feels invisible, when you're exhausted and tempted to give up. In those moments, you must return to your why, the reason you started. Let it reignite your fire. Keep pushing, even when you can't yet see the results. Because breakthroughs often happen right after the moment you almost quit. Every single day you will face a choice, comfort or growth. Comfort is tempting, but it leads to stagnation. Growth is painful, but it leads to transformation. The path you choose will determine the life you live. Here's the truth. No one can make this choice for you. No one can fight your battles or carry your burden. This is your journey. The storms will come, the nights will get dark, and there will be times when you feel completely alone. But remember this, storms don't last forever, and the person who refuses to quit will always see the sunrise. So, as you step forward from this moment, make a promise to yourself. No more running, no more retreating, no more surrendering to fear or doubt. From today on, no matter what happens, you will keep going. You will fight for your dream. You will rise every time you fall. Because quitting might seem like the easier road, but persistence is the path that leads to strength, victory, and a life without regret. Your future is waiting. The only question is, will you keep walking toward it? The answer must be yes. Keep going. Don't stop. Never quit, no matter what happens.